Hello everyone! Since the second video I actually made for this channel can't be uploaded here due to Content ID being a thing and ITV being a bunch of dicks, I thought I'd make something nice and simple to make myself feel better. So here's 5 pointless facts about Star Trek that you may or may not know. Number 1. Okay, let's start off with something nice and simple. So, the maintenance tunnels on Federation starships are called Jefferies Tubes, but for the longest time I didn't know why. Well, the answer is they're named after Matt Jefferies, the art director and production designer for the original Star Trek series. Calling them Jefferies Tubes was just an on-set joke from that era, since Jefferies had designed all the tubes along with the rest of the Enterprise. Later on, during the Next Generation, that name was spoken in universe and has been used as the official name ever since. Number 2. If you're into model making, you'll probably have heard the term kitbashing. It's a practice where you take parts from multiple kits and combine them into something unique. Well, several ships in Star Trek were created with this very technique, taking off-the-shelf model kits and jamming them together in interesting ways to create new ships. Like the USS Curry, created from Excelsior and Miranda-class parts, or the Elkins type made from a whole bunch of stuff including an F-14 fighter jet model, and my personal favourite, the Jaeger class, a ship so blatantly an Intrepid class marquee raider cut and shut that it's kind of fantastic. Actually, unlike most kitbash models that only really ever made brief appearances, the Jaeger was actually in a surprising amount of episodes, since some of the stock footage they used for establishing shots of Deep Space Nine had it patrolling around the station. Number 3. In Star Trek the Motion Picture, a large mechanical entity of frankly silly size called V'Ger turns out to actually be an old Earth probe, Voyager 6 to be precise, that fell through a black hole and was found by living machines in some uncharted part of the galaxy. These machines took pity on poor Voyager 6 and built it a gigantic body so that it could get home and finish its mission, because they were just nice like that, I guess. What's interesting is that much later on, Gene Roddenberry stated that what the probe might have found on the other side of the galaxy was the Borg homeworld.
We are the Borg. You will be assimilated. Resistance is futile.
Yes, that Borg. Which suggests that the Borg weren't always quite so genocidal and could even be somewhat altruistic, or at least some of them could. And this idea was expanded in both the game Star Trek Legacy and the William Shatner novel The Return. And yes, William Shatner wrote Star Trek novels. They are sometimes referred to as the Shatnerverse. And yes, you can still see his ego even in print. Number 4. In Deep Space Nine we see a lot of Danube-class runabouts, but the weird part is that despite them being one of the main methods of transport in DS9 and being in around a third of all the episodes, we only really see the cabin area. The contents of the aft section are a mystery. In fact, the only place you'll ever get a look at the aft section is in the Next Generation episode Timescape, which is the only episode of that series to actually contain a runabout. Number 5. And finally, as well as being a shit movie that can fuck off, Star Trek Into Darkness also has something else sinister bubbling deep inside it. You see, writer-producer Robert Orci is a 9/11 truther, and that comes through into the movie, as one interpretation of it is 9/11 was an inside job. Yeah. I mean, the movie is about a Federation officer manufacturing a situation where the Federation and the Klingons have to go to war with a third party taking the blame. It does kinda fit the conspiracy theory, and honestly, looking at the film from this perspective does make it make a lot more sense. It's still crap, but it makes more sense. Seriously, Google it if you've not heard about this before. It's a wild ride. So there you go, 5 pointless facts about Star Trek. If you knew them all, then well done, let me know, and I don't know, we can do a sick internet high five or something. And if there was something in there that you didn't know, well, you do now, and whether you like it or not, you're going to take that information to your grave. You're welcome. Oh, and whilst I still have you, if you want to see the Space 1999 video I made that was too hot for YouTube's algorithms, then check the description below for a link to it on VidMe. My wife said the video was quite good, so, you know, that's gotta count for something.